When a total underdog outshines A-listers on one of the biggest red carpets in Hollywood, people notice. But nobody expected it to be her. Alandrea had never done a glam board before. No big production history. No viral moments under her belt. Just a camera, a stunning look, and quiet confidence. And suddenly, she's trending worldwide. But as millions praise her elegance, kindness, and style, others scramble to rewrite the narrative. Accusations, jealousy, false rumors. People are saying she was planted, fake, even ugly. So why are so many people trying to tear down a woman who just proved she belongs? It started with a single video. No promo. No hype. Just Alandrea standing in front of the glam board camera for the very first time. And what happened next? The internet exploded. Her look. Flawless. Her presence. Effortless. Within hours of the Golden Globes footage dropping, the video had racked up over 1 million views and more than 17,000 saves. And here's the twist. This wasn't some seasoned vet who's done this a dozen times. This was her first glam board. Ever. People couldn't get enough. She wasn't trying too hard. She wasn't overanalyzing her angles or doing anything overproduced. The camera loved her, and so did everyone watching. It didn't take long before the video was officially listed as one of the top glam boards of the entire Golden Globes 2026. But as stunning as the finished video was, it was what happened behind the scenes that had the internet completely losing it. When the behind-the-scenes footage of Alandrea's glam board dropped, it didn't just confirm what fans already felt, it shut the haters all the way down. In the clip, Alandrea is working with Cole, the creative director in charge of guiding the celebrities through their poses. And from the second they met, the energy was totally different. No diva attitude. No awkward tension. Just pure, effortless charm. She's cool, polite, even playfully jokes around about wanting another take. She compliments his hair, laughs through the prep, and takes every bit of direction like a total pro. What really sent people into a frenzy was the comparison, because Cole had recently worked with another celeb on their glam board, Jennifer Lopez. And their interaction. Less smooth. Less warm. A lot more uncomfortable. Fans immediately clocked the difference. With Alandrea, it was easy, light, natural. She wasn't just serving looks. She was reminding people what it meant to be likable without trying too hard. And the crazy part. She even asked to redo her take herself, not because she messed up, but because she wanted it to be perfect. That second take. That's the one that went viral. And it showed. Her movements were confident. She locked eyes with the camera like she owned it, and when the final clip hit the timeline, the reaction was immediate. But the comments weren't just about how good she looked. They were about who she became in that moment. As soon as that glam board hit the feed, people were completely mesmerized. Comments flooded in like a tidal wave. Who is this goddess? I don't know her, but I'm obsessed. She looks like royalty. A literal princess. It wasn't just the angles, the lighting, or the dress. It was her. The poise. The presence. The way she stood there, calm yet commanding, with eyes locked into the lens like she was born for that moment. Viewers weren't just watching, they were connecting. Even people who'd never heard of Alandrea before were pausing their scroll to ask, wait, who is she? There was something magnetic about the way she moved. The subtle arm gestures, the spin, the quiet confidence. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't loud, it was artful. And for a format that often makes even the most famous stars look stiff or overposed, Alandrea somehow made it feel effortless. But what really had fans talking? How likable she seemed. The BTS footage wasn't just a behind-the-scenes video, it became her unintentional character witness. Viewers praised how sweet and grounded she was. One person commented, "She just seems so chill to work with." Another wrote, "She's the kind of energy the industry needs. No ego, just vibes." And just like that, the narrative shifted. In an internet culture obsessed with takedowns and drama, Alandrea went viral for just being genuinely cool. But not everyone was happy to see her shine. The weird part. While Alandrea was winning hearts across the internet, a whole different conversation was happening on the other side of the fence. Just one day before her Glambot video blew up, a group of people went live on Twitter, claiming Alandrea was rude, arrogant, and difficult to work with. No proof. No context. Just a group talking, loudly, trying to paint her as another problematic personality. Some even said her kindness was fake, carefully crafted for cameras. But then, the BTS video dropped, and the narrative fell apart in real time. People instantly connected the dots and started dragging the live for what it really looked like. A weak attempt at character assassination that couldn't even survive a 3-minute behind-the-scenes clip. One user wrote, "The way a random Twitter live tried to villainize her, then this Glam video hit and showed she's the complete opposite? Embarrassing." Another added, "That video did more PR than her whole team could ever plan. She didn't clear the rumors, she silenced them by accident." And when fans started digging deeper, one name kept coming up, Huda. Alandrea's viral moment wasn't just being celebrated, it was being targeted. A theory quickly spread that the live dragging her wasn't some random hate session, it was coming from Huda's fanbase. The same Huda who's attempting a major comeback with a new album. The same Huda whose fans have been gunning for Alandrea since day one. Some claim the live was strategically timed to distract from Alandrea's big red carpet moment. Others say it was pure insecurity. But either way, it backfired, badly. Because instead of derailing her momentum, the attempt to smear her only made her rise more impressive. And now, comparisons were flooding in. But they weren't stopping at Huda. They dragged Shelley into it too. What started as celebration quickly turned into comparison. And suddenly, Alandrea wasn't just the rising star, she was officially being pitted against another fan favorite, Shelley. And it wasn't even about talent. It came down to the one thing the internet just can't seem to shut up about, beauty. Out of nowhere, Shelley's fans started hijacking posts about Alandrea's glam board, insisting she wasn't actually beautiful. "She just has a nice body," one comment read. "Shelley's face is 40 million times prettier." Another simply said, "Notice which one is being pushed, and ask yourself why." The agenda was loud. People weren't trying to celebrate Shelley, they were trying to undermine Alandrea. They weren't lifting up, they were tearing down. But the internet didn't let it slide this time. A wave of users clapped back, pointing out the obvious. Shelley's fans weren't defending her, they were using her as a pawn to attack another black woman. And while Alandrea was being praised for her kindness and professionalism, Shelley's name was being dragged through the mud by her own supporters. One viral comment summed it up. "If y'all spent half as much time supporting Shelley as you do bashing Alandrea, maybe she'd be more successful by now." And it got deeper. People started pointing out a disturbing pattern. Every time Alandrea wins, Shelley's fanbase shows up to discredit her. Her beauty, her talent, her presence. Nothing was off limits. And the irony? The shade wasn't even coming from outside the community. It was coming from inside. Some fans even said they wanted to support Shelley, but her fanbase had become so toxic, they couldn't do it anymore. And just when things couldn't get uglier, theories started popping up about why this comparison was even happening in the first place. Just as the beauty wars were hitting peak burnout, the internet did what it does best, spiraled into full-blown conspiracy mode. A random thread popped up claiming that Alandrea wasn't just lucky or talented. She was planted. According to the theory, Alandrea and Nick, yes, that Nick, were allegedly hired by producers before the show even started. The claim that they were paid more than the rest of the cast, and even knew each other beforehand. Supposedly, they had roles to play, pre-scripted interactions, and a storyline baked into the mix from day one. And just like that, people started questioning everything. Was her rise really organic? Did she game the system? Was she cast to win, while others were just extras? Of course, there's no evidence. None. Just screenshots from old fan forums, bits of out-of-context interviews, and a whole lot of speculation thrown in for drama. But when you're a woman, especially a black woman, facing sudden success in a space that's not built for you, people will reach for any excuse to say you didn't earn it. Still, the story gained traction. And the speculation wasn't just about power, it was about her character. People weren't saying she was smart for playing the game. They were saying she was fake. But here's the irony. While people were arguing over whether she was a plant or a pawn, the real players started stepping into the spotlight, one of them being her ex. Out of nowhere, Ace re-emerged. And what he said next had fans dissecting every single word. Just as the theories about Alandria's rise were circling the internet, her ex, Ace, decided it was his turn to talk. In a new interview, Ace sat down to reflect on his past relationship. And while he never said her name, everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. At first, it came off like emotional maturity. He spoke about learning how to love, figuring out what his partner's love language was, and navigating the pressures of being in the public eye. He even acknowledged that outside opinions and constant scrutiny played a huge role in their breakup. But the more he talked, the more things didn't sit right. His tone was distant. Too distant. He kept referring to her in the past tense. Said things like, "Who I thought she was, wasn't who she turned out to be." And, "Sometimes what you order isn't what you get." It was subtle. Passive, but incredibly loaded. And fans were quick to point it out. One person commented, "Ace really sat there and emotionally ghosted her with metaphors." Another added, "If you didn't like being under a microscope, why are you doing an entire interview about someone you're no longer with?" The contradictions were wild. He said he hated the way people scrutinized their relationship, yet there he was, inviting speculation all over again. And what made it worse? The fact that he never once acknowledged her name. Like she had become just a storyline. But before fans could fully unpack the implications, someone else entered the chat. Nick. While Ace was out here doing vague interviews and talking in emotional riddles, Nick, Alandria's actual partner, was keeping quiet. For the most part. That changed when one comment popped up that struck a nerve. It started with a random tweet. "Alandrea can do better than Nick. I like him and all, but she needs a doctor or something. Someone who elevates her brand." It wasn't the worst thing ever said on the internet, but Nick wasn't having it. Instead of staying silent, he clapped back. "All she got was a millionaire nurse," he wrote. Short, sharp, and surprisingly savage. But that one reply set off a full debate. Was he being defensive? Petty? Just standing up for himself? Some fans loved it. "Finally, someone not letting folks talk crazy about them," one person said. Others weren't so sure. "Bro, now is not the time to flex your bank account," one tweet read. "You're dating someone that has the internet in love with her. Don't ruin this with insecurity." But let's be real. Nick's response wasn't just about the doctor comment. It was about how the public treats black women in relationships. People weren't just critiquing him, they were implying she was too good for him. Now that her stock was rising. The message was clear. Once a black woman reaches mainstream success, there's always going to be scrutiny about who's worthy of her. And more often than not, it comes dressed up as innocent advice. But at the center of it all, Alandrea. Unbothered. Unshaken. Quietly watching the chaos swirl around her while continuing to win. And even with all the drama, fan wars, exes, and internet theories, she's still gaining momentum. Next up. Possibly her biggest moment yet. At first glance, Alandria's viral Glam board seemed like just another fun red carpet moment. Pretty girl, great dress, cool video. But if you really take a step back, you'll see, this was a lot bigger than just a spin and a smile. Because what Alandrea did, whether she meant to or not, disrupted the narrative. She's a dark-skinned black woman getting mainstream praise for her beauty, her presence, and her softness, without having to sell pain, overperform, or fit into a pre-approved aesthetic. And for some people, that was uncomfortable. The moment she started trending, people weren't just admiring, they were dissecting. Picking apart her face, body, relationship, and personality. Trying to explain why her success must be part of a bigger plan, a hidden agenda, or a comparison to a lighter-skinned peer. Because to them, there's no way Alandrea could just shine on her own. And yet, she did. She didn't argue online. She didn't clap back. She didn't explain herself. She let the work, and the footage, speak louder than the noise. Even when fans of other artists tried to use Shelley as a weapon. Even when the conspiracy theories got out of hand. Even when people dragged her looks, her past, her partner, Alandrea stayed silent. And still won. And it struck a nerve. Because society isn't used to seeing black women succeed in a way that's elegant, quiet, and uncontrollable. We're taught that we only matter when we're fighting, suffering, or explaining ourselves. But Alandrea? She spun on a glam board, looked in a camera, and made the world pause. And now, she's not just a viral moment. She's a movement. Her name is being mentioned in major press circles. Her fan base is growing overnight. And there are now rumors that she might be invited to Paris Fashion Week. For someone they said had nothing to offer. She seems to be booked, busy, and fully stepping into her power. But the best part. She hasn't even started talking yet. Alandrea didn't drop a diss track. She didn't go live to clear her name. She didn't apologize, complain, or defend. She just showed up, did her thing, and let the camera capture exactly what the world needed to see. In an industry that constantly tells black women they need to shrink themselves, explain themselves, or outperform everyone just to be seen, Alandrea proved that being unapologetically soft, stunning, and still can be just as powerful. She didn't scream for attention. She commanded it. She didn't beg to be liked. People just couldn't help but fall in love. And the timing couldn't be more perfect. Because in an era where image is currency and narratives shift overnight, Alandrea flipped the script without saying a single word. She let her presence speak louder than any headline trying to define her. So what's next? With Paris Fashion Week possibly on the table, brand deals lining up, and the internet finally seeing her for who she is, Alandrea might just be stepping into her main character era, for real this time. And if this was the impact of one glam board, imagine what happens when she steps in front of a global stage. Because sometimes, the most dangerous woman in the room is the one who doesn't need to explain a damn thing.